2, 1, live. All right. Good morning, Nightsmith. How's everyone doing today? Let's get this all shared around. We will be doing the giveaway today, and once we get people in the room, we will. I will go over all of the rules for the giveaway because I have to do that. And get started. Keep things nice and simple. Because why wouldn't we? Simple is always a lot more fun. Oh, we already have someone in here. Good morning, Alan. We'll be starting here in just a moment. And good morning, Lara. So how's everyone doing this morning? I have to say that while I am doing well, Connor did not sleep a wink. Not even one. Just one of those nights. Didn't sleep all day yesterday, and well, he did sleep last night, but you had to hold him. So I don't know what was going on, but not happy or fun making. So what you gonna do? Okay, share to the Facebook group, and then let's get this shared to public and shared to a page, and then we'll share this to the Twitter. So the last couple days were absolutely gorgeous out, and this morning and all last night just pouring rain. We lost power here a couple times. So, what are you gonna do? How's everything where you guys are? How are you, first off? And then how's everything where you guys are? Looks like there's a few people in the room, so let's switch over to the live stream chat and we'll start moving. Let's see. Lara is having tacos for breakfast. Okay. Hey Joe, how you doing today? And you're watching your cats hunt an ant. Interesting. So Alan, you got your did you get your wallet? I gave it to Jill when she came over to the shop last week to do the trade for the violet syrup. It's great. Awesome. Nope, I stole it and ran away. And good morning, Jill. All right, so today we're going to be doing a drink koozie. I actually printed off a pattern because I didn't want to go through the trouble of trying and failing to make a pattern for something like this. So I got this pattern off Make Supply. he has a pretty good tutorial on it, and gonna make one of these guys and see how it turns out. My leather is 0.2 millimeters thicker than what he has. His was 2.8, mine is 3.0, so might be a little on the tight side, but we're going to use some veg tan leather, so it should stretch out nice. Yeah, that's pretty much it, I guess. So, giveaway rules. You have to be present when I call for numbers, and you have to guess the correct number. The correct number will be the range I will tell you at the time, and the correct number will be generated by an auto-generator, courtesy of Google, or via Google, not courtesy of. Let's see. There is nothing other than that required for entry. I disavow YouTube and all of this. They are not a sponsor. No one's a sponsor of this. No one is paying for this. No one has anything to do with this other than me. This is my own little thing. The onus is on the shoulders of the winner to reach out to me and get me their address so I can ship them the item. It is not, I will not save your address. I will use whatever screen name you are using here and a picture of the item in promotional things going in the future. There's no giving away monies. None of this is sponsored yet. And this should be in compliance with YouTube's terms of conditions, services, and all that happy horse shit. And there is a link to the description to all of that down below. It is a Google document that also contains links to all the YouTube stuffs. Void where prohibited, if that matters. Yeah, I think that's it. Alright guys, so let's get on with it, I guess. It's 10 after 9. It's going to be my business card wallet for all my crafting classes I take. Cool. I'm glad you're going to get some use out of it. So let's see. Let's switch over to the project camera. This one? No, this one. Yes, this one. Okay. So like I said, today we're going to be starting off with a little bit thicker leather than usual. This nice black stuff here. Actually, let's partially cut out the pattern. Yeah, so that's nice and easy. And scrap. just fell. Just roll back up and put away. Because I don't know what I did with my... Do not know what I did with my, what you call it? My razor knife. This might actually be a much quicker video than usual. So it is a beautiful Saturday today. What is everyone's plans for the day? Running an errand to help a friend start their little library. Then nothing much. Little library. What's that mean? They're starting a like a little book thing for their kids, or is it like one of those free libraries on like the side of the road type deal? Which, by the way, those are pretty cool. You never know what kind of book you're going to pull out of there, which keeps it interesting. And they're free, and you just kind of stop by the free library. My PC battery is running low. How is my battery running low? It's plugged in. It built it for his wife on Mother's Day. Interesting. And good morning, Eileen. Why is my battery running low? Am I not plugged in? I'm plugged in here. Let's see. Plugged in here. Did that fix it? 13% available, plugged in. Interesting. Well, I think we fixed it for now. Good morning, Eileen. How are we doing today? Just have to keep an eye on that. Little surge protector, I think, just kicked off over there, that's all. We've been having some lightning. So, that will happen, I suppose. Oh. I don't like how that is sitting. I know this is exciting. Watching me tape a piece of paper to a piece of leather. Let me just make sure I don't have a razor in here somewhere. Yeah, I tried my best to be prepared last night, but oh well. Well, we'll use this guy. Not the sharpest razor I have, but we shall make it work. So Monday is Memorial Day. Does anyone have any special plans for it? Okay, let's start from the center and then work out. Should make things a wee bit easier, I suppose. Now, Eileen is just going to be chilling with the boys. Good. Now, I don't know about you guys when you're cutting out patterns, like what side of the line you tend to cut out on. Normally, I try to do my best to bifurcate the line. Was going to go fishing with your mom and Jill and Ellie, but they just changed their work schedule. Oh, that's nasty. And oh, that's awful, Alan. And Jill, yep. Try to stay on the line, but it usually looks like I failed a sobriety test. Well, see, some patterns tell you to cut inside the line, some tell you to cut outside of the line. But whenever they don't specify, I just cut on the line and hopefully it works out. And these are very tight curves here, so if you do end up going over to make supply and getting this pattern, actually, you know what? Let's cut out the rust and then we'll come back to those curves. Or, let's do this. A little bit of a cheat right now. So I'm just marking the curve, and we're just going to remove these pieces altogether. Then we'll come back and do some nibbling. The fun thing about taping the pattern to the leather instead of using a scratch awl and really it's nothing other than fun, because I actually prefer using the scratch awl method, is that when you're done cutting everything out, it's like a magic trick. Well, not this time. So let's worry about these curves here. Okay. Brighten this up a little bit. Yeah, that's one. Good thing and bad thing about this leather is it is super supple. So I mean, it's really easy to mold and form and stuff. It's still veg tan, but it's super supple. However, that also makes it a real pain in the butt to cut, these little curves and stuff. So a little patience and we'll get there. And it was double dyed, so the color, I mean, obviously the color on the skin is going to be a lot more than on the flesh side, but it's completely dyed all the way through when they did it. So the tannery did a really good job with this leather. Unfortunately, it is discontinued. So this double shoulder only cost me $50. And I got it over at Weaver Leathercraft. So if you want to pick up some nice super soft leather that's still veg tan, come on. Okay, so those are all those pieces. Now, ideally, that should fit nicely around a can. What ounce do you recommend for turn shoes? It depends on what you intend on doing with them. This is they said it's a 3 to 5 ounce, which is really kind of closer to 6. This would be good if you're going to be doing a lot of heavier activities, kind of like hiking or something, because it's thick like boot leather. But if you're going to be doing something that's a little bit more athletic, I'd go with like a 2 to 3 ounce. I intend on wearing them. Well, I figured, but I mean, are you going to be walking around? Are you going to be running? Are you going to be doing hiking? It all depends on your usage, your intended usage. Any leather will work for any usage. It just depends on your dexterity versus durability. Now, you can also do split weights, which is what I'm planning on doing. I'm going to make a pair of shoes. This is going to be the base and sidewall, this leather here. The upper, the top above the foot, I'm going to do something thinner, maybe a 2 to 3 ounce, and carry that 2 to 3 ounce up my leg for a mid-calf boot. Probably just going to be camp shoes for reenactment events. Then that's what I would do. I would do something a little bit thicker on the sole and on the sidewall, and then something thinner on the top. But if you're going to be doing like hiking in it, I would make the whole thing out of this, something like this, like 3 to 5, or 6 to 7. You also have different options on, different types of tan leather as well. We're actually going to be setting this one aside here for a minute. And we're going to have a little bit of fun. So like something like this leather here, if you're just going to be just hanging out or doing courtly activities, would be perfectly fine. Maybe put a little fabric liner on the inside. Gorgeous. Or even you could do some chrome tan, like the white leather I have. I might do a pair of white leather shoes. That might be gorgeous. But anything more than that or less than that, you're going to be asking for trouble, I think. So I want to have a little fun. So what I'm going to do is put a maker's mark on this thing. It's all veg tan leather, so why not? I need this guy. I'm going to need my chisels here in a little bit, but not right now. And we're going to take a little drop of this. Let this soak in. We'll wet the front and the back just so we get a good even soak. Yeah, I'm just using coffee because why not? I actually forgot to bring water down. So you can see that's getting nice and dark right now. Where's the scrap pieces in comparison? Actually, I think I want to wet it just a wee bit more. Let that all soak in. Coffee scented leather products, good selling point. Well, see, the thing is, I'm not trying to do much of a selling point here. It's just trying to get the leather wet. You don't want to over wet it. I think that's good. Let's have a little Oreo break. We're going to make a little maker's mark here. It's 1/4 inch. Actually, let's drop in a stitch line first thing. So we got a little stitch line on there. And I have a bone folder. I think I want to get this just a wee bit wetter. Right here in the center. There we go. Let that just soak in here for another minute. Wow, that stitch line really popped out, right? Well, that's the thing about the leather. Once you start getting it darkened and you start working with it, I haven't done any wet forming on here yet. Okay, there we go. So I made this thing with, a couple different different sides and different faces. This side, we're going to be using the point kind of as a guide. No, it's not as good as when I'm going to get a stamp, but that'll dry up nicely, and that'll be the first little piece of branded doobly-doos. Once this dries out just a little bit more, we will pop it somewhere on here. Just a little color contrast, an extra stitch line. So while that's drying, we will clean up these edges here and get all these burnished. And I think I'm going to wait till the end to burnish these guys. But there's no reason I can't, do the skiving now. So this is a 0. Let's pop it up to the next size. Now this is just the these are, it says Horseshoe brand, but I bought these from Weaver Leathercraft. It's just kind of like the all-in-one skiver set they sell. And I decided to buy this one because I didn't know what I would be doing the most of. And this way I got, a bunch of different sizes and stuff. It just kind of pops in there. Nothing super fancy. So we got that guy, and then let's get our little sanding stick. Make a nice big mess out of everything over here. Let's try and clean these edges up just a little bit. Okay, and now you don't want to skive or burnish these edges, because these edges need to butt up together. But these edges are going to be, unattached and rubbing, and so are these. And you don't want a sharp edge anywhere, people's fingers are going to end up going. So let's just get a nice clean line on all of these pieces. And I'm going to burnish the top. I'm going to skive it all now, but I'm going to burnish the top once it's all together, so it's more of a seamless line. But these pieces down here, you won't be able to get to them once it's sewn together. So, oh, that is so much nicer. Not skiving. What is this thing? Beveling. It's so much nicer beveling this thicker leather. Just works so much easier. And I don't think you really need to bevel these inside edges on this one, but it just looks a little bit nicer, And it helps clean up that little rough spot where we had those issues cutting out those little curves. And anytime I can make something just a wee bit nicer with only a little extra effort, it's almost always worth it. Almost. Sometimes the cost benefit's not there. Now, the nice thing about these tools is wherever it's supposed to cut to, it's only going to cut up to that point unless there's like a ripple in the leather or something. So you can just keep going back over and over and over the same spot if you didn't get it right the first time. And you won't cut anything additional other than anything you missed, which is always a very nice little bonus. It's not quite stupid proof, but it's pretty close. All right, so everything's beveled. Shake the gum trag. I know I say this every time I use it, but wow, this stuff smells fantastic. Just kind of soak the edges with it. Now, I like to soak the edges and then come back again once it slightly dries and redo it. And then burnish. It seems a little wasteful, but I did it once on accident and it turned out way better than all the other pieces I've done, so happy accidents, guys. They generally make the world go round. And all we're doing here is just trying to produce a little bit of friction. You don't really want pressure, just a little friction. That looks so nice. That is nice, nice, nice. Look how beautiful that turned out with so little effort. And just come in here with the little end and get these pieces. I know these little pieces down here really aren't that necessary because they're going to get folded and everything, but look how little that took just to pop that all together. So really, why wouldn't you? Put this away before I spill it, because knowing me, I will. And let's move this off to the side. We're going to have to move this back. And while I'm setting up, let's pop back over to the chat. So how's everyone doing over here? A few of you are still with me. That's good. I know it's not the most exciting until the end. You know, once everything starts coming together, then it starts getting exciting, and all these little things, they might seem kind of boring. But it's the little details you pay attention to that, if you get them right, early and in the beginning, everything else comes together so much easier and so much faster. And Alan is checking out Weaver's site. They do have a lot of really good stuff. They really, really honestly do. And I'm not sponsored by them, but they are a company I will 100% support. My tines broke. My stitching tines broke a couple weeks ago. And it was actually on one of these live streams. And they had no problem, turning around and shipping one out. Shipping a brand new one out. No questions, just, okay, what address do you want to go to? And we're so sorry about that, Mr. Knight. Have a nice day. We'll put them in the mail as soon as we get them. Oh, this marble is heavy. That's kind of the point, though, isn't it? So that's the kind of company I want to work with. Somebody that they're not trying to nickel and dime you or make you buy a whole new product. They are, oops, sorry sorry there was a mistake. We'll fix it. Have a nice day. Boom. No yelling, no cursing, no 10 million people to go through. It's just, and their prices are pretty reasonable, honestly. Like I said, this was clearance leather. They had it in like a brown, the black, and like a chocolate. So very, very good people to work with. I'm happy I found them, and yeah. And Joe, it's always nice to see companies with integrity. It really is, because unfortunately, that's kind of like a rare thing these days. Now we gotta, bevel this guy. Where did I put all my bevelers? Did I put them away? That's not like me. I did. Imagine that. It is so rare to find companies that have actual integrity, so that, when I do find one, I try to sing their praises, because, like, hello. Put the number 1 away. Now, these things get out pretty big. I don't even know what size of leather I'd use some of these on. And just a quick bevel on this guy. A little doobly-doo. Plus over just the edge of this. Ooh, I might have messed that beveler up, but we'll see. We shall see. No, I don't think so. Okay, and where's the sanding stick? Got that. Pop a little gum trag on this guy. Come on. Yeah, so whenever I find a company that does pretty right by me, I try to always shout them out as much as I can and do a solid by them, because whether it's just one good employee or corporate is actually mandating that they work in such a manner, I believe it should be rewarded and called out as much as possible. Okay. Now, interestingly enough, this is going to be the only piece that gets any of this TEDS tape. So, Alan, what do you think about their website? Makes me want to buy leather. Yeah, that's kind of the point of the website, isn't it? On the same token of some companies being extra gracious, though, I also try to call out companies that are kind of junky. Alright, let's see. And just to make this a little nicer, I would have to use up what I have first. Yeah, I get that. I actually ended up going to our storage unit yesterday. And cut up the last of the couches. So I pretty much have your weight in white chrome tan leather. sitting in my car right now. Not to mention all the stuff that I have already. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with all of it yet. But I have it. It is good quality. So we'll see. Only problem is it's armor leather. Kristen Bracey. Kristen! Oh my god! How are you? 13 ounce. Oh boy, that is thick. I'm making a leather beer koozie. Where's my mouse? There it is. So, I was just doing some boring stuff, so I figured I'd pull up the chat. And now, I think I'm ready to go back to the project camera. 13 ounce leather, that is thick. So let's get over to this project camera. Bloop. All right, so. Come on, come on. All right. So first we need to find out where we're gonna put this guy. And since this leather is wet, I can't hammer it down, which I am not thrilled about, because you always get much better adhesion when you can hammer it, especially into the flesh side. But if you notice, I also put a little extra strip on the back. And hopefully that'll while I'm stitching this in. We can hope, at least, right? So let's use this as our little straight edge. That looks pretty close to centered. It's not perfect, but meh, whatever. And you see, I'm being very careful to press only with the palms of my fingers, because since this leather is still slightly wet, even your fingernails will dampen it, or will mark it and ding it. So be careful if you plan on doing this yourself. Okay, now we'll drop the stitch line in here first, because I want to make sure that's in and done, and then we can worry about, stitch line here, and really that's it. Sew it together, burnish those two edges, and we're done. So stitching irons, chisel. I'm going to mark this out so I can kind of plan what I'm going to do here. And I think I'm going to use the black thread on this, because black on black is just sexy, you know? Let's see if we can get it nice and close to that. Oh, yeah. Okay, so we got that laid in. That was nice. I got the whole thing with just one chisel. Okay. Next mystery. There are my needles. Oh. Here they are. Stuff in front of me now. I'm gonna go insane by the time this is done. And this is a nice, easy, simple project. It's a butter project. So I'm using the 0.6 millimeter black Riza thread. This is so nice to work with. And these are the number 18 John James needles. But if you go on their website, it's shown as double aught, or sold as 00. These guys right here. You gotta focus, or what do I have to do to make you focus? There we go. These needles are such a joy to work with. And you always do slightly better work when you enjoy the tools you're working with. Let's pull this back because I'm going to be sewing. Whoops. Little twist there. a little bit better. And this guy. Okay. So come in here. I'm gonna even up our thread and just start sewing. We're just going to do a basic saddle stitch around the top, around the this piece here, and then I can do a bar tack or a baseball stitch to get these sides put together. What do you guys think I should do? Baseball or bar tack? Bar tack is just going to be straight lines going down the side, where baseball is going to be like kind of a chevron diamond pattern going down. And the secret is, the only difference between a bar tack and a baseball stitch is what side you do the crossover on. They are literally the same exact stitch, just one is reversed from the other. But 90% of this is just aesthetics. Most of what I do is just aesthetics, to be honest. Baseball, right? Baseball stitch it is. Find it a little bit easier, I don't know if I said this, to stitch from the back when I'm not doing when I'm not using my stitching pony, just because the holes on the front are nice and easy to find. The holes on the back are, since it's kind of like, this is where you get swayed from on this piece, on the back side, the holes are kind of disguised. So it's nice when you could push a needle through the front and then open it up with the lace. Much easier to see, much easier to thread the needle. And for those of you who weren't present in the beginning of this, when I explained the rules, because YouTube is being a butt, there is no cost to enter the contest. You just have to be present in the chat room by the time I go to give it away. I will give you numbers to choose from. You enter them via the chat box, and then I use a random number generator to determine the winner. The onus is on the winner to get me their address. So when I do ship everything out, it goes to the right person. I will not keep your address on file, and I do reserve the right to use your screen name for promotional doobly-doos. Will not link to any other personal information other than whatever screen name you use on here, and a picture of the item. And that's it. And there is a link in the description of this video to the rules and stuff, and this complies with all the YouTube terms of service, condition, guidelines, blah 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 blah. There's a link there for that as well. And void where prohibited. Because apparently my first 4 or 5 of these were illegal contests. Ugh. Okay, so there's that. A little snip, snip. Now where's the lighter? I swear I thought I was more prepared than this last night than I am. It's not in there. Interesting. I know I have a lighter around here somewhere. One moment, guys. I need to go grab a lighter. But there's the stitch so far. Nice, clean, consistent stitching around there. Beautiful. And actually, this might not be such a bad thing, because when I get back, I should be able to hammer this whole thing down. So, one moment, please. Now, I can't lose this one. This is my pipe lighter. It'd be tragic if I lost this one. Do I think that's dry enough to hammer down? I think so. And where's my little hammer? There. And you notice that just kind of closes the holes out a little bit better. Okay, now's for the big one. Where is it? Oh. Boom, 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 boom. Here. Oh. Looks so pretty. Why, thank you. Okay, well, I don't know where my groover is, so we will just use calipers. Just tighten that up a little bit more. Let's bring you in. And I want to go real slow here. Because this has to line up perfectly from one side to the next. Okay, so, and we will put the first stitch hole right there. There. Now, with a little bit of luck, and a decent amount of gall, we'll get this all taken care of. Okay, now these stitches are going to have to line up across here. So now I need to count the stitches here and here, just so I have the same amount, because you need the same amount. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 32. 31, so one more stitch right there. Hole. Then just repeat the process. I was kind of hoping you guys were going to go for the bar tack look, because then I could start from the bottom. If that makes sense. It would be a lot easier. Because if you have to start from the top, as you get towards the bottom, it's going to close in. Whereas if you start at the bottom and work to the top, it closes around your hand as you're working away from the closure. And count the stitches and figure it out from here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. So one more stitch here. Is this really 32 here? Let me just recount this. Well, that's only 31. One more stitch on this side. All right, and that's all the sewing. That's all the stitching. No more hammer. Get rid of the old thread, and I have no idea how much thread I'm going to have to use. So I'm going to use 5 times the length of thread, and that should be enough. Should be. Okay, so even this up, I do believe. We'll do that. And go U into U. Okay, and make sure you're not conflagrated with anything there. And pull this nice and tight. Oh, come on. Now we do right in. And then we do left. And here's what I mean by bar tack. So instead of going down to the next hole, what you do is you go straight across, pull these both up like that. Then right first. And left. And the trick with this stitch especially is to keep it as tight as possible. So we get the I pull up just to open up the thread holes a little bit and then re-thread through. Really doesn't matter if you go left or right first, it just matters that you're consistent. I think I messed up. And fixed. Whoopsie-doopsie. I swear I'm turning into Ned Flanders. With the doobly-doos and the whoopsie-doopsies and what is wrong with me? Ooh, that one got me. These needles don't really have points, but wow, that hurt. Then again, I can say my son doesn't have teeth, but he doesn't really have, any teeth, but the two he does have, they can do some damage. Actually, this is turning out pretty handsome. So the question is, a doobly-doo. Is a doobly-doo the same thing as a thingamajig? Yes, but a thingamajig and a thingamabob are completely separate. I know this is highly technical, but basically because I don't have the brain power to remember what I'm talking about half the time. You're welcome. You're welcome for that clarification, Joe. Yeah, you gotta keep pulling these things tight because this is not a fantastic position for this leather to be in. The other side's gonna be worse. So it's going to be much worse. I don't know why, but I have that one song from Beauty and the Beast stuck in my head. Bum 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 bum. Monsieur Gaston. mean, pretty much all I have in my head, but I don't know. Sometimes I think I'm going nuts, and other times I prove it to myself. The good thing about this wax thread is once you put some tension and pressure on it, it has a nice tendency to stay right in line. And since I'm always pulling on this stuff, trying to keep this as tight as possible. And this isn't opening up nearly as much as the guy over at Make Supply, as much as his did. Plus, I think my leather is more supple than the one he used. I know this is the exciting part of the build, isn't it? Watch me do the same thing over and over and over. But, unfortunately, this is just part of the process. If you didn't see the video 2 days ago, 3 days ago, I got a sewing machine. And, it's only a Singer. It's good, Singers are quality, but it can sew thin leather. Now, it won't be able to do something like this. However, putting pockets and stuff inside of wallets, that it can do. So, in addition to being able to make those beard masks, and just, be a sewing machine in general. It should speed up some of my sewing, some of my leather work. Cool thing, I got a potential request to make a full leather costume for somebody. And no, not like a gimp suit. I already got that question. Nope. Other side first. Though that would be interesting. Making a gimp suit for somebody. No, this guy wants a like a Mortal Kombat style suit. Which, all right. If you want it in full leather, I'll be happy to take your money and build you something that's gonna last the rest of your life. However, it will be super impractical. Because if you want to fight in it, you are going to sweat your ever-living ass off. But it would be cool looking. And nice knowing that whatever you have is, full, 100%, real material. back this up just a little bit. This is going to be very interesting for me to sew the other side. I mean, I suppose I could keep it loose, use way more thread, and then just come back and kind of selectively tighten it. But I don't know. Actually, my bad. This isn't a baseball stitch. This is a crossover stitch. I know you're not going to crucify me for it, but a baseball stitch terminates inside the seam, doesn't it? That's why they do it. Maybe it makes it easier to tighten up a ball. Now this is where things are going to start getting interesting. And even more so on the other side. So I think I did, what, 5 times the amount of thread to start this one? Good. Thanks, Alan. Okay, this is the last one here, so Actually, I could do it from this side, so why wouldn't I? Okay, left over right. And then right over left. Okay, so there's the first side. This is what I was talking about by bar tack. All are just straight lines. You have the crossover on this side. Boy. Thank you, Eileen. Not exactly the stitch I wanted. Didn't realize that until I was almost done, but oops. What are you going to do? Let's see here. A lot of things going on here. Turn my head for 5 minutes and the whole world is changed. So, what did I say? I did 5 times the thread? 5 times length? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I believe this is where that extra length is going to come in handy. I think since I screwed up what type of stitch I was going to use, and I can do the crossover from the bottom or the top, because really it's just a bunch of X's. I'm going to start at the bottom, because these hands don't fit inside of a Pringles can. So take that as you will, but I won't be able to stitch inside of here. So let's see. We did this and this. came through here with you, and through here with you. So this is still going to be difficult for me, but I think much easier. I'll take this thread, this guy here, and this one here, go through there. Here. And okay. There and there. And then I close there this way. Make sure my thread isn't crossed. Pull it tight. And this guy goes in. And this one. Actually, this is turning out to be pretty sexy, don't you think? A nice beer mug, or nice koozie. All right, starting to shape up pretty nice, don't you think? I got that, and starting to come together. Actually, we're almost done. Yo! Beautiful. Thanks, Eileen. Yes, 5 times. Holy heck, though, it's looking so amazing. Ryan Knight. Yo! Jill. Very nice. J. D. Yeah, it looks good. I like the color of the leather. I know, right? This is such a... You know, I had no idea what I was going to use this for, this leather, when I bought it, but... You know, it's such a great price, I couldn't pass it up. And it's starting to look. I am very happy with how this is turning out. Very, very happy with how this one's turning out. I'm sorry I'm not as talkative as I normally am on these things. I am trying to concentrate here, making sure to keep the pattern as consistent as possible. Because at the end, that's what's going to make this look nice, is a clean, consistent pattern in the stitching. Otherwise, it's pretty much just a big blank canvas of leather, you know? And this is also not a stitch I am used to doing. And very cramped quarters for my hands. Now, one thing I'm going to have to do, and I'm going to have to do this off camera after we do the giveaway, is I'm going to have to wet mold the bottom of this. Simply because, due to the spring of the leather, if it's not wet molded, when your drink gets a little more empty, it'll just kind of pop up. And that'd be embarrassing for us both. So, can't have that. And like I said, this is just, veg tan leather, so even though it looks like a nice finished product, I can still wet form it. Kind of like what I did with the other stuff. It looks like a nice finished product, but I can still form it, which is kind of nice, actually, once you get down to it. Because that means it takes very little to get something that is very professional looking, and at the same time I can still mess around with it as much as I want. Unlike let's say a chrome tan, where kind of it is what it is and there's not much you can do about it. I think I'm starting to get into a bit of a rhythm here. Coffee night, I've hardly touched my coffee. I am also trying to get us out of here on a reasonable time, so can't just sit around and play bully all day with your time. I mean, I could, but I don't want to do that to you guys. I want to entertain you, make something cool, get out of here and get on with my day. And I'm pretty sure you guys are just here to be entertained, have the chance to win something. and get on with your own day as well. Come on, there we go. This also might be a wee bit tight on the beer can, because this is a slightly thicker leather than the pattern calls for. Now, I'm not really up to my ounces to millimeter conversions, but the guy said over at Make Supply, he said his leather was about Are we back? I think we're back. Yes, we're back. Okay. So sorry about that, guys. I don't know what happened. The computer just completely restarted. So if you're still here, please let me know. That was bizarre. All right. Kristen Bracey is still here. All right. I have to go over and yeah, we're back. Okay. That was weird. Let me just reshare this because that was so bizarre. And copy the link. All right, guys, we're back up and running. Okay, here we go. Okay, so one person's here still. At least, that's good. What happened? All right, my brother's back. Cool, 3 people watching. All right, so we're slowly getting back in. I don't know what happened. The computer just said there was a critical failure and shut down. I didn't have any chance or choice to see what was going on. So yeah. Let me share this public again. Let me share this back to the red door. I'm not going to bother with Twitter right now. Yes, I don't know what happened, guys. I do apologize, though. Let's get back to sewing. Red door. I'm just going to assume that everyone watching now is aware of the rules. If not, there is a link in the description below. It's all very basic stuff. But yeah, I don't know what happened there. So let's get back to the doobly-doo over here, the project camera. Yeah, I don't know what happened. I don't know how that happened or why it happened. So I might have to be in the market for a new computer as well. Which I kind of don't want to, but you know, if I need one, I need one. I do suppose, right? So let's finish this up before there's another malfunction. And yeah. Well, thank you for those of you who stuck around. That's kind of embarrassing that it happened at all, but you know, this has been the week for actually this whole month has been the month of malfunctions. The last 2 months, actually. Whole world shutting down and roof collapsing, people's houses catching on fire, dams bursting, locusts, wildfires. This whole year has been screwy. I can honestly say from the bottom of my heart, I am not a fan of 2020. I got the hookup. You just moved to Missouri. Ryan, I'm telling you, I'm not the one you need to convince. Just put it out there just as that. Put her on the phone. Well, she's upstairs. Call her. You have her number? Joe, disregard that message. I got booted out of the stream. You didn't get booted out of the stream, Joe? The stream shut down. My computer shut down and just restarted for like no reason. I really don't know what the reason was. But yeah, it had some sort of fatal error and just boonk, kicked everyone out and everything else. So that was a problem on my end. But thank you nonetheless, Joe, for reaching out and trying to help me troubleshoot and get things rolling. Apparently, the stream itself stayed active, which is kind of cool. That means I don't lose all that watch time that I got today. Which is a nice big plus, even though it's a little embarrassing. But I will take a little embarrassment over total failure any day of the week. Now, I wonder what would happen if my computer just died in the middle of a live stream. Now seeing what happened. Would the live stream just time out after a certain amount of time of inactivity, or would I just get like, you know, a 300-hour live stream? That'd be interesting. That's an interesting question. I don't know if there's an actual answer to that or not. And I'm not sure if I actually want to find out the answer to that question. But there's always something happening, right? Alan is back. Same here, couldn't get back on. Yeah, I don't know I don't know how or why that happened, guys, so I do apologize, but it seems somehow I missed a hole or doubled a hole. Or just one side just a hair longer than the other. So a little trimming here is necessary. But let's finish sewing first. At least it was before I finished it. That is true. There are much worse things that could have happened. Alright, and let's do this. Left over right. And then right over left. Trim those. Now I need to trim this here. looks nice and even there. Just need to come back and redo this guy real quick and easy. Or at least I say it should be real quick and easy. I used a number 1 on that, right? Yes. Re-bevel this inside because it had to be trimmed up. Go there and go there, and let's just do see, and now for nobody knows that I screwed up that top piece except for you, me, and all of YouTube. So let's work that a little bit. Get some gum trag, slick top, and then do the giveaway. How's that sound? To me, it sounds like a plan. I cannot wait until I get a Cocobolo finisher or slicker. I'll make all this real nice and fast. So that's that. No more gum trag. And where is my... Where's that little bag? Because I think the bag has the beeswax in it. Kristen Bracey, yeah, that looks great. Thank you. That is much appreciated. So let's just get a little beeswax on the top here. Finish sealing it off. I'm actually very happy with how it turned out too. I'm not gonna lie. Alright, and one final slicking pass. like I said, it's not pressure, it's friction. It's always friction. To get the fibers to lay down and to get the gum track to work and the beeswax to work and for the seal. Moment of truth. Oh yeah. So cool. All right. So let's go over to the chat box. So cool, guys. All right, so let me get all of this stuff out of the way so I don't feel super cramped anymore. Fits like a glove. Well, that is the point. Like I said, the only thing that's gonna have to be done with this is I'm gonna have to wet form the bottom a little bit, because as the drink gets lighter, of course it's going to want to spring a little bit. But being veg tan leather, as your drink sweats, it'll absorb into the leather and actually start forming that bottom anyways. So I'm going to do the initial one today after we get off the stream, and call it a day. So let me look at what's going on here. Come on, respond. There are 6 people watching. So let's do a number between 25 and 35. Put a number between 25 and 35 in the chat, and once everyone is in, we'll draw a random number and see who gets it. My first beer cozy. Thank you, Kristen. I'm really happy with how this turned out. And this leather is, oh my goodness. I am so happy with how this leather looks. I really had no idea what I was going to do with it when I bought it. It was just so cheap and there was so much of it. I was like, oh, I have to. All right, so Kristen, put in a number. And anyone else who's putting in. Kristen is 30. And I think Joe is in here as well. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So Joe, you're the last one. Put in your number. 25 to 35. All right, Ryan switched his to 25. Joseph D. You are the last holdout. I'll have to have you come give me a hand with some armor work. Dude, totally. I'm always up for leather work and blacksmithing. You should know that by now. right, Joe, this is final call for your number if you want to try and win this gorgeous beer cozy. Going once and going twice. Okay, let's hop over to the... Oh, it's actually the project camera. Fade over. Bring this in here. You don't want to see my ugly face anymore. Okay, so here's all the numbers on the chat. We'll go over here. Google random number generator. Minimum 25. Maximum 35. And bink, 32. 32. Who is 32? Let's see. I think Eileen won. Nope. Alan. Congratulations, buddy. I would come in at the literal end. Yes, you did, Joey. Sorry. So congratulations, Alan. Congratulations on winning actually two things. You got a wallet and now a lovely, lovely beer cozy. And this just proves I really need to get a stamp, because that is just a nice little pretty beauty panel that I got on there. Need to get a stamp professionally made. Alright guys, so thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. This was a ton of fun. It came out fantastic, so I'm super stoked. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. I appreciate you. Have a great weekend, and thank you for helping make this world better, one kerf at a time. I'll see you guys on Monday morning.